formal way to begin talk. So, and you probably might think I'm going to be talking about Russia, Siberia, like my home country. Well, yeah, in some sense I will, but in fact this talk is mostly about you guys, California students. So, how's it going to be? Okay. First I want you to imagine.
Ooh.
Yeah. Imagine a very small group of scientists. Like, they who try to save our planet. And their work is so important that literally their fate and the destiny of entire human civilization depends on them. Literally, like the fate of every one of us. Everyone. And the challenge that those professionals face is really immense. But and the odds that they will succeed are really small. But it doesn't matter because the entire world really puts faith in them. Because the scientists are really, really smart. They're creative, like Steve Jobs, and educated probably somewhere in Stanford or wherever fancy school. And they're inspired to do good. And now, can you imagine who is their leader? Like Einstein, maybe Steve Jobs or Chimamanda Adichie Ngozi, if you know her. But did you picture this guy? No? Me neither. And where do they work? What do you think?
Siberia.
What? Siberia? Well, good guess, but what about Harvard? What about Googleplex? White House? Well, White House is probably no. Maybe they give talk like I'm doing now. What about this place? Yeah, camera. Siberia.
Okay.
So yes, and you Cameron was right. So, and this is two scientists, Sergei and Nikita Dimos, and they are literally the front-line soldiers in the humanity's most radical mortal combat, the battle against the climate change. But wait a minute, how is it like the Siberia, the middle of Siberia nowhere is a front line, right? It's not like Stanford or UC Berkeley or like America or California, whatever like fancy place you can imagine of. How is it like this? And I'm just about to explain why. So this is Sakha Republic. This is literally like the biggest part of Russia, and the nature there is so beautiful that I don't know. I would be traveling there for the whole my life, and unfortunately I've never been there, but there are so many pictures and documentaries, and it's great. I definitely recommend it to visit. And here you see the Land Pillars. It's one of the UNESCO World Heritage, and it's very famous and important place. It was colonized by Russians in the beginning of the 17th century, and for 400 years it was always the part of my country. Those are indigenous people of this region. And actually one of my friends in Russia is from one of those folks. And it's unbelievable how, whereas the Yakutia, right, it's literally here, but the language that the people speak is it's very similar to Turkish. Very interesting, right? This is the great city of Yakutsk, capital of Sakha. Can you even like believe that those places exist somewhere? I mean, did you really have you ever like seen the snow like this? Right? What about this place? Oymyakon. Look at the temperature. Negative 95 Fahrenheit. Could you live there?
No.
No? Okay. So during the Soviet times, Yakutia was exploited by humans like really a lot. It was industrialized, and gold, silver, oil, all of those gases were found. It's just a handful of minerals that are found there. And actually, I remember from my parents' stories and from my grandparents that it was really prestigious to work there. And you literally could make much more money in those places than in Moscow or Leningrad. So Leningrad was the name of St. Petersburg in Soviet times. But what about now? This is what's happening there right now. For the last 30 years, dozens of thousands of people from Sakha region, they just emigrated to other parts of Russia or other places. But why? Why is it happening? And this is the guy who makes it happen. And he's coming for you as well. This is the giant permafrost. This is basically an echo or like a message that was sent to us in the Pleistocene age. So basically from 2 million years ago to 10,000 years ago, there was a period in the Earth's history when the ice age, when the glaciers, they were just coming to the south, and then they were fluctuating back, and they went back and forth. And they even almost reached California. So there, here in California, we could say that it was tundra here, and sometimes at that period. And what basically happens is when these glaciers, they were melting, and the water went into the soil. And in the soil, the water cooled again. And you know that the ice is basically it's less dense than water, so it tends to expand and it opens more room to even more water. And then when all of this ice freezes, the soil becomes like this. And even today, 25% of the entire soil in our planet is permafrost. But the global warming is starting now. And this is the result of the permafrost melt in Yakutia. You probably should show it to your president. So those buildings, they were built a little bit like in, how you say it, bulks, right? They were inside this permafrost, but now it's melted, and they opened, and the buildings they crush it. And this is one of the reasons why people leave Yakutia. But this is not the biggest problem. Oh, wait. What's about the sound? There must be a sound.
Big carbon bomb. So
yes, this was. I hope you could hear that. So
is he speaking Russian?
yes, but no.
So we are speaking enormously big carbon bomb. So
yes. So this permafrost problem is not really only a Russian problem. Yeah, it's not only about those buildings that I show you. As this Nikita Zimov, son of Sergei Zimov, he told, this permafrost is a really like a big carbon bomb. If it melts, so if it melts, those guys will leave. They are sleeping there for literally 20,000 years in the permafrost. And it actually was estimated that the entire permafrost that you see like on the big map in Canada, Alaska, and Russia and Siberia, it consisted 2% by mass of these guys. And literally 50 to 90% of permafrost is those germs. And can you imagine what happens if they finally awaken? They will be starving. And they'll start eat. And when they eat, they release those guys. And it's also calculated that the amount of carbon dioxide and methane that they can release is approximately the same as all of the big transport vehicles in the US. All of the coal plants, carbon plants, and factories. They have more carbon than me.
Понял. Очень много бровей и ресниц было оставлено в этих экспериментах.
Yes, you see, the methane is already there, and there are going to be more and more of it every year. Yeah, and according to the research, the average temperature of permafrost is rising. and now it's -3. And when it reaches the melting point of water, everything will just go down, just melt. And what can we do about it? So I want you to imagine that. So can you imagine the savanna, like the steppe, elephants grazing the grass, and rhinoceros doing their like herds of rhinoceros just walking around and just rhinoceros and antelopes and the predators that regulate the environment. Where is it? Camera, you probably know, right? Kenya.
Nice.
South Africa. Nigeria, somebody thought of Nigeria maybe? What about this place? And indeed, that's how this place looks like thousands of years ago. Rhinoceros, mammoths, big cats, and horses like antelopes. This is the solution to restore this environment. That's the ambitious project which Sergei Zimov and his son proposed, and they've been working really hard on it for the last 30 years. And I can show you the video presentation about this.
This idea of park was night and the sleep, then the idea appeared. This idea looks like grassland, frost leaves appear. And in a few months, big biomass appear everywhere.
My dad is a big scientist who moved to Africa when he was just in university. And he basically lives in there most of his life.
Okay, so there is an excellent movie, you can find it on YouTube, and if you want, you can watch it after my speech, if you're interested. But now let's just continue. So this is the Pleistocene era. It's actually lasted roughly from 2 million to 10,000 years ago, and it was famous for the really enormous grassland from Spain in the Europe to Alaska. It was literally the big grassland, and you can find all of those animals everywhere, in almost everywhere in the northern hemisphere. So there is a description.
Если бы
What
ты
there.
стоял на этом берегу 20 или 30 тысяч лет назад, ты увидел 100 мамонтов, 1000 бизонов, 1000 лошадей, 3000 разных оленей, 30 носорогов, 40 овцебыков, 30 тигров-львов, несколько сотен волков и иногда человек, очень редко.
In Sunday, climb up the hill, going to see like good distance around you. You will see on average like about 3,000 people.
Today you will see none.
Yeah, where is everyone? Where are all of those animals that have been existing for millions of years? This is how Siberia looks like today. Most of the Siberia. It's empty. yeah, that is the reason why they probably cease to exist. So what happens is the global warming, like usual global warming, 10,000 years ago. And as you can see from the map, our ancestors, they migrated to the north at that time because those regions in Siberia became warmer. And you see that already 15,000 years ago, few Homo sapienses, they were in Alaska, so which means that a little bit earlier, they've been to Siberia. And the research shows that whenever our ancestors appeared, the large animals, they just vanished in those places. That happened in Australia 50,000 years ago. It happened in Europe 40,000 years ago, and it happened in Siberia. But from the fossil fuel, from the fossils, we know that there was really a giant, big biomass before humans arrived, and then it's just vanished. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Who knows? Right? And what it means is that the temperature from that time and the humidity didn't really change. And scientists, they hypothesize that if we really try, we could probably restore all of these animals and make turn Siberia into savanna once more time. But why do we need it? Well, first of all, Siberia is like this taiga. And you can see the difference, right? The color. Whereas taiga consists of really dark fir trees. The steppe is just a snow, right? Just a layer of snow. And the snow is white, right? And from physics we know that it reflects sun very well. But those trees, they absorb it, sunlight. But the trees absorb it, and they take the heat, and it makes permafrost tough. So the steppe clearly is much better for the climate change, for the reverse of climate change. And secondly, if we are introduce those animals again to Siberia, they will be trampled in the snow, like extensively. And what it does is remains a layer of snow, which basically keeps the heat inside the permafrost. And if animals remove it, the heat will just disperse into the environment, and the permafrost